Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inner Workings of the Not So Genius Mind. It's me, the Not So Genius, and Mrs. Daybreak, Amanda McCombs, and I'm here with our Mrs. Maple Mountain, Portia. Okay, I have to tell you something funny. So every time I see your name, I have two stepdaughters, and they're older now, and we went shopping, and like the Beanie Boos with the big sparkly eyes.
Of course.
There was one, and its name was Portia, but they were younger and they weren't reading Portia right. They were reading it Portia.
Tortilla, of course. Of
So
course.
every time your name pops up in like all of our chats, I'm like, it's Portia, but
Yeah.
it's Portia.
But that's how you spell it. If you ever want to look me up, just think Portilla.
Portia.
I'm shocked though that they had a beanie baby or that little
Right?
stuffed animal that
It
the name was
it was a
Portia.
little puppy. I think
Oh
we
my
have it
goodness.
somewhere, but like every once in a while, we'll just randomly shout out Portia, like it's a family inside joke.
That's so great.
It
Oh
is
my
the
goodness.
best. It's the best. Anyway, hi. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit because I didn't go over that before I hit record. So let's do that.
No, that's perfect. That's
Tell us
perfect.
who you are.
So, as you said, my name is Portia Blanchard, and I am the mom of 7 adorable, crazy, inspirational children. I know. The oldest is 12 and the youngest is 2. So they're all pretty close together.
They are.
And
Wow.
yes, I've been married for almost 14 years. So that is super exciting to celebrate. And
Hi.
Jason is fantastic. And I'm also an internationally selling author of a book that's actually inspired my youngest child. So that's just a little bit about me.
Okay, I want to hear more about all of this. But because I think a lot of what happened with your youngest, what's her name again?
Abigail.
Abigail.
Mhm.
I think a lot of that maybe kind of pushed you into this journey that led you into pageantry. So I'm not really sure where to begin. Like, do we start with her story or do we start with like
Okay.
the
Let me just
chicken or the egg? What do we do?
let me briefly tell her story because
Okay.
that did kind of lead up to this passion that I feel that has led to pageantry. So Abigail is my 7th baby, and all the other pregnancies were honestly very smooth, like smooth deliveries, smooth pregnancies. I had some that were born in hospitals, some that were born at home. One was accidentally born at home because she came so fast. Like we've just had like a lot of different experiences with how our babies came into the world. And Abigail, I don't know, maybe she wanted to have her own story. I don't know what it was. But she was the youngest, 7th one. She was actually born breech in an ambulance, crossing over the Missouri River, high speeds, getting to the hospital, but she was born dead. So no heartbeat. And they say that she had no heartbeat between 9 and 11 minutes.
A
And
long
medically,
time.
that's a very, very long time. Like we were expecting lots of brain damage, lots of like we just wanted to obviously just we wanted her to live. And
Yeah.
so my husband is doing the heart compressions on her in the ambulance, and I'm speaking with her and rubbing her feet, and the medical team is there doing what they can do. And when she came back, when we were in the NICU, I wrote just all the feelings on my heart, the anger, the upset, but more importantly, a recognition that life is short and we don't know how much time we have. And what kind of hit me there was I'm like, most of the time, like we wait until we're at someone's funeral to speak life into them, to talk about the amazing things about that person, to celebrate their life. And I'm like, no more. Like I am done waiting for life to look perfect or for things to all be figured out before I start appreciating where I'm at right now. Oh, that's my kids knocking. I bet it's my 2-year-old. Just a minute. Oh, in fact, that's Abigail probably knocking. She's 2
Speaking
now.
of,
She is 2. She is healthy. She
she's
is
healthy and
vibrant.
she's
She is
fine.
running around. Yep. She's the boss of the house. Like it was an incredible recovery. But with that message, I wrote a book and I published it, and that's my platform now. Is like, don't wait. In fact, let me get her on the camera. Let me
How long was
suggest
she
her.
in the NICU for?
So she was in the NICU. Well, with NICU standards, it was not very long. It was like between like 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's
So what? Hi, Abigail. You want to come on in? Come on in, sweetie.
Hey, princess.
We're talking about you. You want to say hi?
We are. Do you hear us saying your name?
Hi.
You are.
You're wearing your sister's shoes and your sister's dress.
Well, you're beautiful.
I
so
love it.
Happy. Oh, and she has the little baby piggy tail.
Of course,
Just enough hair.
So sweet. So sweet.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, like she I won't go into all the details with her NICU stay just because that's more details. But like being a mom of 7, I'm like, I'm enjoying my children right now.
Yeah.
And I'm also pursuing my talents. And I'm sharing this message with the community right now. It's like a 2-part message. One is you don't need to rush your life. Like where you're at right now is beautiful.
Yeah.
But also, you don't need to wait for anyone to give you permission to start doing things that you want to do.
Hi, cutie. She is so darling.
I'm sorry. It's gonna have all the background noise with her, but
and that's okay. That kind of it just kind of makes it real, right?
Yes.
She's all a part of it. Oh my gosh! And the dress is on backwards.
It's on backwards, of course.
She is so cute. So
It's
cute.
like, when I was talking with you beforehand, I'm like, this is the message I want to share. Like I'm showing up today, no makeup, my face is flushed. My daughter's coming on with her dress on backwards while we're recording a podcast. Like life is beautiful right now. And just show up and let yourself start appreciating it.
Yeah. Yes, you tell me.
Hi.
Oh, you have all the monies?
She got the money.
So I'm the youngest of 7 kids. Did you know that?
I did not.
So yeah, but there's 18 years between my sister and I.
Okay.
So like by the time I'm making memories, most of my older siblings are all out of the house and having kids and going on missions and doing all that stuff. So like most of my older siblings, just with the spread, we didn't really get to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, totally different dynamic.
It is. It really is.
And each dynamic is good in its own way.
Oh,
like having children close together, it's busy, it's crazy, it's always loud. There's always something going on, but seeing them play together, like that is just makes my heart so happy. So there's always good in every family situation.
So my husband, his oldest is 18, and then the next one is 17, and then my daughter from Florida is 16. And then he and I together have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. And we're a blended family, but I hate calling it that because it seems so forceful. Like you're putting everything in a blender and you're going to try to make everybody get along. It doesn't work like that.
So great.
And I'm trying to remember, like, I was trying to figure out dating and all that as a single mom. And I remember it being listening to something. I can't remember what it was. I think it was some type of self-help book, but it talked about how instead of calling it a blended family, it should be more like a crock pot or like a slow cooker family. Because things stop in at different times and go together at different times, but like they can all come together, still be individual, and still like hold their unique values. But together, they make something.
Yep. I'm going to pass her off to one of my kids.
To another friend.
I do want to hear everything you're saying.
You are such a sweet.
You want to go hang out with the kiddos? No, you don't. You want your
rose? I'll let you go put her away.
Okay, here we go. Let's take her down here.
It was so hard.
You go. Here you go, sweetheart.
Thrashing.
Hey, kiddos. Could you hold on to Abigail for me, please, so I
for
chat with my friend? There you go. Thank you.
You know what?
Okay, I'm heading upstairs.
I can have them cut that out.
Perfect. I was hoping.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't want to have as cute as she is.
Hey, she's so cute. She just needs a little bit of. Uh-oh. There you are. I lost you for a sec. She's so cute, though.
Okay, enough.
She's like, it is all about me.
Yeah, she's like, here, let me tell my own story.
She really is so cute. So you had already, it was okay, hold on. 2.5, 3-ish weeks. The other thing I was going to tell you, my youngest, that's 4, he was born during COVID and it was June. So I didn't know if anybody was going to be able to even come in to the hospital with me because there were so many restrictions and stuff. Um, and then after he was born, um, even though he was so big, he was my biggest baby, his lungs were just not quite developed enough yet. And so he stayed in the NICU for a week.
Mhm.
Because of the one visitor thing, I was the only one that could go in there because I was breastfeeding and like trying to
Mm.
keep my supply up and stuff. So my poor husband didn't even see his son for a week. He came home on Father's Day.
Wow.
But
That
like,
is, oh, anyone that's been
oh,
in the NICU, there's all the feelings, and every person's story is different. Like,
yeah.
I remember being told, like, you need to get out, you need to go be sane, go shopping. So I'd go to the store and go Christmas shopping, which was close to the hospital. But then I'd see some friends at the store and they're like,
Well,
oh,
they
I've heard
ask
about your baby.
questions.
So then I feel so guilty. I'm like, yeah, I'm here Christmas shopping. Yeah, it's been tough. Like, but there's so much that you
Yeah.
feel when you're a mom in general,
Well,
but
there's
when you're a
that
NICU
mom
mom,
guilt,
yes. And
leaving that baby's side to go and do anything. You
Mhm.
don't like, it's that natural maternal instinct to want to
Yeah.
be there.
Mhm.
But at the
Which is
same
beautiful and
that
so
guilt and
good.
shame, like we deserve to have lives too, and they're not going to be perfect and they're going to be messy.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
that's okay.
Yep. And I also think sometimes a coping mechanism is like if you're in a hard situation or if life is messy or something's come up that you weren't expecting, yes, you've got to be present. You've got to be on top of things. Like you are in that that survival mode, but
Mhm.
also you have to give yourself that space to be like, you know what? Yes, I can be having a baby that's in the NICU right now, and I can go Christmas shopping. I get to create that space for me, which is
Yeah.
applicable to any situation you come up. If you're in a traumatic situation, you can still go out and have time with your girlfriends. You can still let yourself relax and watch a Netflix show. Like,
Yeah.
you have to start creating that sense of balance so you can be able to process what's going on.
Yeah. That's really important. Well, and like, especially if your baby is in the NICU or in the hospital doing some time there. Ugh,
Yes.
I hate saying it like that. They're in good hands. They have people that
Yes.
are watching them and taking care of them. And mama, you gotta rest and recover too. Because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to take care of the baby when it is in your hands because you're
Yeah.
already going to be too tired.
Mhm.
I
It's
talked
such
a
a
lot.
good lesson about just trusting.
Yeah,
Like we cannot be in control of everything. No matter how hard we desperately want to, we have to start relying on people around us
yeah,
because like our health matters too. And our priorities and our self-confidence, whatever fill in the blank for you, you've got to start trusting people around you so you can be able to experience that.
well, and our tiny humans, they're watching us.
Mhm.
And like from a teacher standpoint, because I taught first grade forever and ever and ever, um, I taught PE for a tiny bit and taught art for a tiny bit, but that's a totally different story. They're watching everything you're doing. They're picking up your mannerisms and the phrases you say. They even did it with me, and I wasn't with them as often. Um, but we're their example. So when we're struggling and it's okay for us to go and get help and use our community, then it's going to strengthen that for the next generation that's watching us, right?
Yes, yes, it does. We want to so hard, like we want to just be like this perfect example and have everything figured out for our kids. And sometimes we can feel that guilt of like, oh, I'm not a good enough mom, or I'm not a good enough example of X, Y, and Z. But just you being a real example, again, here we're talking about being real in a pageant
Yeah.
episode series. We're talking about just showing up real, where it's like you being a real mom, if you go up to them and say, hey, I am sorry for what I said. That was really hurtful. I didn't mean that. I was frustrated, but I said things that I wish I could take back. Can you forgive me? Like, that is an
That's
example.
ownership.
It
Yeah.
is. Like, so yes, they are watching you, and you do not have to be perfect or have things figured out for them to have that good view, that inspiration from you.
Yeah. Um, I loved when did you finish your classes? This kind of seems off topic, but it's like kind of on topic. Your classes with Katie. You
Yes,
all
yes, I
master
did. I
certified?
am now a certified makeup artist by Katie, who's amazing. And yes, I
So
love doing people's makeup.
I loved sitting in the chair and having you just take care of me and do my makeup for a minute and just like watching you look at me and take in these tiny little details. Like I had to try not to cry because you were being so nice and saying all these really, really nice things about me. And you just talked about the features that you wanted to bring out. Um, just the way your view like
Thank
that
you.
is a really good example for your girls too. Because I think like we talk about like the way that we talk about ourselves and our bodies and the way we carry ourselves is an example to our girls as
Yes,
women.
yes,
Um, so yeah, you can show up and be pretty and wear the evening gown, but you also got to get down and dirty and do the yucky stuff
yeah.
and exercise and wash your face, right?
Mhm.
Like
And I will say, I love doing makeup. Like it is such an artistry thing for me. And exactly how you described it, like when I'm looking at you, when I'm looking at the person in the chair, I just see this beautiful canvas that God has created or that time has shaped. And it's like this is you. So we're going to take your beautiful eyes and we're going to make them pop. We're going to
yeah,
take the smile lines that you have and we're going to just make them glow. We're going to take the apples of your cheeks
right.
or the shape of your lips. Like it's just about seeing the beauty in you. And yes, today I chose to show up with no makeup because while I'm showing for my girls that you can be a mom, you can be a mom of many kids, and you can still find confidence and beauty in yourself. And many times for my girls, what they see is, oh, mom feels confident and she feels beautiful when she has makeup on,
Mhm.
when she's dressed up in her gown. And while I do, because it's just a way of me artistically expressing myself, I'm also choosing to show up in situations where I have no makeup on, where my kids are coming in during the podcast. It's not a perfect
Yeah,
situation, but my girls know out there that I have a message that I'm sharing with people and I get to have this time with my friends. Like yeah, I just love that self-confidence is something that develops over time because our bodies change and the experiences that we go through change. So if you're in a space right now where you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I don't even recognize who this person is anymore. I don't even like who I see, or I'm just we can all get to that point where it's like, you again in the
yeah,
mirror.
yeah,
But to recognize it's like, yes, that person is always there for you. So it's time to start appreciating that person.
yeah. Well, and like it's time to appreciate all the past versions of yourself that got you to where you are. Like it took me
Yes.
a lot. I went through a lot. And it took me a long time to like be able to look back on those past chapters of my life and not want to burn the pages and not even like I didn't even want to look. I
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do with it. But like taking ownership of my life, owning my story and sharing my story is like the whole purpose. Not the whole purpose, but it's like it's healing me
It
and
is a big
helping me
part of the
figure things out,
purpose.
but it's a big part of the purpose, right?
Mhm.
And like I was teaching last year. This is my first year not teaching. So I just don't know how, I do not know how to relax apparently. Um, like I took a break from teaching for a minute, but I got a master's and had a baby and was teaching again anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't really know how to relax. But it's the whole last year I did the pageant. It was my first year. I had no idea what I was doing. And now this year, because of the pageant, I was really able to reevaluate what I needed.
Mhm.
And I had to quit my job, which sucked. Like, I thank goodness my husband is able to take care of us the way that he can. So that like my focus, I went and I looked at the Mrs. Utah America website and I was trying to like reshift my focus from last year and really think about the purpose. Like, why am I doing the pageant in the first place? Because why do I want to be Mrs. Utah America? I have no idea. Um, I didn't even realize that like you won prizes or that it went on to Mrs. America until they were talking about plans to go watch them at Mrs. America. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a real thing. Like, I don't know why it didn't register in my head. Like, and you
Yeah.
see, I watch these girls go through this transformation and it's a refining process where like you get rid of the stuff that you don't need and you reevaluate and you figure out what's important. And
Yes.
like your message, what you really want to make clear is that like taking pride in yourself and just showing up as you are is more important than being pretty.
It
It
is. It
really
is.
is.
And I understand the I think that's Abigail knocking again.
She's so
Okay. Pause for just a minute.
okay. I'll pause it. Hold
We
on.
might I yes.
There we go.
Okay, so I wanted to
Turning
talk
pages.
about you mentioned, yes. You mentioned that you wanted to like just not even look at the past. You wanted to forget about it. And now we're talking about just showing up, even if it's not perfect. So with Abigail's birth story, we had a photographer there, a person taking videos.
Oh my
Which
gosh, are you kidding?
no, no. And it's the first time we ever did that. We're
Oh,
like, this is going to be our last baby. Let's get someone there videoing it. And then when everything got crazy, I'm like, I am never going to watch that video ever. Like, not going to.
yeah.
So it took me a while. And I'm finally like, you want to know what? I'm gonna start this video. So I started it and it's almost like I could see this past version of me, and I knew all the pain that she was about to go through and the heartache that she didn't know that was coming in just a few moments. And I just wanted to hug her and be like, you are going to get through it. And
Yeah.
it's going to shape you. And you're going to be able to share that message of hope with others.
Oh,
And so the first time I watched that video, it was such a blessing to me. Then flash forward a few months later, I'm like, I want to go back and watch that video again. So I open up the laptop and I click play, and I literally felt all the pain again. Seeing my face in the contractions, seeing Abigail go into the NICU, my body was like, turn this off now. So I
yeah.
did. I didn't finish
Really,
it. I
really.
closed the laptop. I'm like, no, I cannot. So with our past, you might be in a phase where you can look back with that appreciation and that gratitude for it, or you might be in a phase where it's like, no way, I am not reliving that. And both is completely okay. And it your past is still valuable. You don't have to relive it if you don't want to. You don't have to think about it. There's things that you don't want to, you just don't even want to go there. But it has made you who you are today.
Yeah.
So, like, own your crown. You've survived it. You've lived through it. Like, you're divine. Own your crown. Show up that way.
Oh, I love it. Um, there's a tree outside my house. It's an elderberry tree. And all along my driveway when I was living in Bountiful, we had not elderberries, choke cherries. It was a choke cherry tree. I didn't realize it was a choke cherry tree until like it was blooming. And I was like, those blooms look familiar because they were the same blooms at my old driveway. Um, and I didn't know that they had a smell because when I lived in that house, I had a stalker. So my brain, like I was not ready to process any of that. It took lots of therapy, and my brain was just like not ready to go there.
Mhm.
And then finally, after I did tons of therapy, all of a sudden I could smell the tree again. I was like, what? What the heck? And it was so strong that I couldn't even face looking back at that just because like my body was not ready. My brain wasn't ready. I had so many other things. And sometimes, especially when we're younger, we're so resilient. You can bounce right back and just keep going and bounce back and keep going and bounce back and keep going. But that's exhausting. We can't do that. Sometimes it's okay to stay down for a minute and like
Yes.
figure out what direction you want to go when you get back up.
Hmm. And that is beautiful. If we were to look outside right now, we would see that it's winter, just barely turning into spring a little bit. It tries to pretend out there that it's spring sometimes. But like I see some trees that are they look dead. They
Mhm.
look totally dead. But give it a couple months and that tree is going to be blossoming and it's going to be beautiful. So we know with nature that it's natural to take time to just hibernate, to just slow down. We've had seasons where we have canceled all activities. It's like, nope, we're not doing anything extra. We're just having the evenings open. And
Yeah.
it has been beautiful and healing. And we have other seasons where it's like, we have something going on every single night.
Right.
And that is beautiful also. And it's developing. Like, so just don't overcomplicate things. If you need to take a break, take a break. If you're not ready to process something, don't make yourself yet. Like all in due time. There's no rush.
Well, and I love the idea of just being able to show up, like be present in your body and be able to show up however you are.
Mhm.
Um, because people can tell if you're being fake, if you're putting on well, usually, I don't know, maybe you're really good at it. But usually people can tell like what your intentions are and they'll be like, "Ooh, I don't like that person."
Yeah.
Um, how did you end up in the pageant?
Okay. So I knew someone that was doing the Miss pageant, the Miss
Okay.
Utah pageant, and she told me that there was a Mrs., which I guess I had known that because like I had followed Ballerina Farm,
Oh
but it
yeah.
just kind of like the dots kind of connected. And I'm like, oh my goodness, there's a Mrs. Pageant. So I actually watched the Mrs. Utah pageant on YouTube from the previous year. So I saw you in it.
Oh my God.
And I no, hey, look at you hiding. No, on your crown, on your crown.
Okay.
So I watched the Mrs. Utah pageant. And what finally clicked for me, which is kind of funny because like the swimsuit's like the most like controversial part of the swimsuit, like of the pageant. But when I watch those ladies walking across the stage in their swimsuit and all the body builds are different and hearing the different traits about them, they all have their own unique talents, their own backstories, traumas, accomplishments. Like, but watching them in their swimsuits walk across the stage, it clicked where I'm like, each person, not just each person on the stage, each person in the audience, each person in the state, each person is already a queen.
Yeah.
And in this pageant, yes, one person gets the crown, or depending which organization you in, maybe it's three people that get the crown.
Yeah.
But each person's already royal. So when I'm doing this pageant, it's not to prove something. It's not to, oh, I have to do this to get that crown. It's just about celebrating my light while also being surrounded by people whose light I'm celebrating. And I just want to represent that for people in the audience too, where it's
Yeah.
like, they're already queens. You just get to come on the stage and celebrate and be vulnerable And there's so much of a growing process that goes through behind what you see
Yeah.
on stage.
There is it's a lot of work.
Mhm.
It's a lot of work. And like last year, I love that you're saying that it's like we're already queens, right? Last year, when we had our queens dinner, they gave us all teeny tiny little tiaras.
Oh,
And they're like, you are royalty. Like you're already a queen. You have claimed a title. Um, and the next day is because so we have our interviews and then we'll have our queen sleepover and we don't really like all sleep in the same room. It's just like we're hanging out and doing a gift exchange and wearing cute pajamas and stuff, and then supposedly go to bed early. And then the show's the next day. It's like hair and makeup and rehearsal and go, 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 right? Um, and it was after we got our teeny tiny little tiaras, because I just went in, I was like, I'm gonna go in and enjoy myself and figure it out. Um, it really was just a celebration of how incredible all these different people are
yes.
and everything that they've been through.
Mhm.
Um, and I was cheering like crazy for every single one of them. Like I knew I wasn't going to win a dang thing, but I was happy to be there and just be surrounded by all these amazing humans. And the second it was over, I was like, I'm doing it again.
Yeah. You had already won. Like, and even like the fact of doing it again, it's like, yeah, I went through that. I walked across the stage in a swimsuit. I danced in heels. I served the whole year with my platform and I love it. I'm going to do it again. One thing that's been really big and transformational for me is being, well, maybe not all moms are this way, but for me, my perspective as a mom of 7 children who I love dearly and a husband that I love dearly is I have learned that I have a hard time talking about me or sharing how I feel about myself. If someone's like, hey, tell me about yourself, it's like, oh, well, my husband says that X, Y, and Z. My sister in law thinks I'm really good at
Oh,
X, Y, and
but what
Z.
do you think? I see what you're saying.
Yes, my children love this and this about me. But what I've learned with this pageant, which is so good for every woman out there to learn, is like, you are your own incredible woman, and you're a mom, and you're a spouse, your wife, and you're a teacher, whatever it is, like these
Have
things,
all of these things. Yeah.
all of these things, whatever you want or don't want, it's your choice what you want, like with any of that. But like, what do you think about you? And can you show up to a photo shoot, or can you make a post, or can you stand on the stage where it's just you owning you?
Yeah.
Owning your body, owning your past experiences, owning even the sound of your voice. Like we're doing this right here. We have to own what our voice sounds like. There's some people that are like, I hate the sound of my voice.
That was me.
Like we have to own, okay, this might drive me crazy, but this is me. And I'm showing up anyways. And I'm getting past the point of being like, it's like, when someone's like, oh, I love your outfit. And you're like, oh, thanks, but I've been wearing it the past 2 days, or I got it super cheap, so that's why I
Why are
like it.
you knocking it down a peg?
Why do we knock it down? It's like, oh, I I am the mom of 7 children, but my house is always a mess, and I'm always late for everything. And like you just try and like it's just so natural to put yourself down first instead of being like, I love being a mom of 7 children. It's loud, it's fun, it's adventurous. I love it. Yes, there are days where I am exhausted, but hello, like I'd be exhausted anyways.
Right?
It's just owning your story.
Well, and I was pointing up here because I got two of those. I got in 2014.
Mhm.
I didn't hang them up or put them in frames or I kept them closed and in their books until like a few months ago.
And for people that are listening to the podcast, not watching it, she's talking about her degrees
Oh yeah.
that she worked hard for and earned, and then just hid to the side.
Yeah. Yeah, I went and got my master's and I didn't really was just like, okay, now what?
But that's what we do. Like I know so many women that work hard and they graduate, and it's like, oh, when are you walking? Oh, I'm not. Like it's not that big of a deal. It's just the
Just
walk. Like
whatever.
celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. If you're doing laundry, you did laundry that day. Celebrate that. That is something you pay for someone to come do for you. Like celebrate the big things, celebrate the small things. If you are taking a day to stay in your robe and to not get ready and to relax, celebrate that. You are taking a day to just decompress. Like it's time to start celebrating who you are more vocally.
Yeah. Living out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about, I mean, I've had a lot of situations that happened to me that probably shouldn't have happened to me. And the way that we react to them says a lot about who we are. And I think, there was a direction I was going with this.
You were talking about living out loud.
Oh, yeah. A lot, especially moms, we kind of are quiet when we're suffering or when something's going on, and we don't want to show weakness. We don't want to ask for help. We want to act, or this was like the perception that I got from my mom for a long time, was that she's put together, everything's okay.
Yes.
Right. And she's gotta be steady because everybody's looking to her for what to do. And that's the kind of the same thing, but I don't want that kind of everybody is looking at me and I have my life all together and perfect, because I definitely don't have my life all together and perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my computer, or else I would pick you up and take you around the house and you would see my house is it's a mess and it's half finished and the carpet's a disaster,
We all
right?
sit with our nice background behind us. I actually have friends
Right.
in the corner. We've been here for a month in our new home, but
Yeah, you guys just
under construction. Life is always under construction.
Yeah, it really is. And sometimes it's okay to totally demolish and rebuild, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we own this house. We've lived here almost 5 years now, I think. And we're just now putting stuff up on the walls. But we've lived here forever. Why am I acting like this is a temporary space?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I not taking up room and hanging up all the pictures of my family and the art and the whatever? Why? Why am I acting like I'm not going to be here for a long time? It's not, I don't like that idea. I want to be able to live.
Yes.
And just be I think we're worried about taking up space, and we don't want to show weakness because we don't want other people to look down on us, because we look and everybody has it all put together and we really don't.
Yep. I think it's something though that we unintentionally express to people and have grown up hearing of the don't take up space. Even me today. So we're folding laundry, mountain of laundry. We're slowly folding it. And I'm going to turn on the Miss America pageant from earlier this year. I just want to watch it, get some inspiration from the girls. So I'm watching it with my 6 daughters. I have 1 son and 6 daughters. I'm watching it. I know, it's crazy, Alice. When the interview question came on, the onstage question, that's what it's called. The onstage question happened, and the girls have a certain amount of time to answer, and then the little bell rings, and their time is up, and all their answers were great.
What you're gonna say.
Well, so my girl asked me, she's like, why does the bell ring? I'm well, the bell rings and tells them when it's time to stop talking, because you don't want to take up anyone else's space or time, and you don't want to bore people with too long of an answer. And after I said that, I'm okay, I literally am just talking about taking up someone else's space. She's not taking up anyone else's space by her sharing the answer. I'm talking about not wanting to bore people by talking too long. And I'm I so often, if someone's how are you doing today? Or tell me about you. Give the
blah, 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 blah.
answer, because it's oh, I don't want to bore them. Don't want to take up too much time. They probably don't care. So I just learned from me from watching these other pageant ladies and talking with my girls, like, what, how would have I wanted to answer that instead? So, but the nice thing is I can go back and talk with my girls and be like, hey, I realized this is what I said about this pageant interview question.
How cool.
I'm learning and processing the same things myself. You don't have to give a short answer. You don't have to be the smallest one in the room, so you don't take up anyone else's light. You can shine bright. You can passionately talk about yourself, because that doesn't mean that you're not caring about someone else.
Yeah.
It just means you're learning to be okay and proud of who you are too.
Yeah. Well, and just because you're shining doesn't mean other people are shining less bright.
Yes.
Like, there isn't a reason that we're taking away from anybody else by taking up space.
That's a quote that I shared actually. I did a post on social media today talking about myself, because that's been a stretch for me. And I shared a quote. I don't have it memorized.
Gonna look
But it's about,
because you're on
like,
your phone.
there you go. Perfect. When you shine your light, you are giving people permission to also shine your light. You're not taking anything away from them.
Celebrating your light and beauty. Oh my goodness. Is this your website?
That's my website. Yeah. And that's my whole theme with makeup artistry. It's celebrating your beauty and your light.
Oh my
And you get to also be glammed up with makeup, or the books that I've written. It's celebrating your life right now and not waiting till your funeral. Like, it just all ties together of celebrating you and your light.
Oh, I'm looking at your I love you. So charming. Oh yeah, and here's this one. Tell me about yourself. Yeah. And that's usually like the first question that you will get asked when you're sitting down. Or like, I even have a hard time sometimes answering like, what's your favorite food? Because I'm not usually thinking about what food I want. I'm thinking about what food everybody, like, how am I going to make all these tiny humans?
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about what their favorite things are, and I am less focused on what my favorite things are.
That's why it's so good. I'm so glad there's a Mrs. Pageant.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, for people that are listening that haven't done a pageant before, like, you don't have to, but why not? Like, sign up for a pageant, because you're going to learn so much about yourself. Even simple questions like, tell me about yourself. You're going to realize, oh, actually, who am I? Who am I?
The main reason well, not the main reason, there's so many reasons, but it's really important to figure out how you're going to answer all those questions and who you are, just like what your center is, because you only have so many minutes with each one of those judges, and that's half your score.
Yes.
So if you're like ho-humming and you can't answer the question, you're like, I don't know, they're not going to be able to figure out who you are.
Because they want to get to know you. And I think, like, most people, when they ask you, even if they're not a pageant judge, if they ask you, hey, what are you into? Tell me about yourself. They really do want to get to know you. So get to know yourself. Have a few pointers where it's like, hey, I love relaxing at home, or I love getting outside. I love watching Netflix. I love writing. I
love collecting books and forgetting to read them.
Yes, like, just get to know yourself.
Right?
And don't be afraid when someone says, hey, tell me about you, to be like, okay.
Why is it so hard to like have pride in who we are, right?
I think it's for me, what I've realized during this pageant process is, like, I morph and I change depending on who I'm with. And so it's like, okay, do I need to try and play down my energy right now and be a little bit more subtle? Do I need to try and to stand up and to speak? Like, you're constantly kind of morphing with who you're with. But being with these pageant girls, like, they're all such bright lights to me. And I found it very interesting where when I see these bright lights, my first impression of myself is, ooh, I'm nowhere like them. I don't even compare. I'm a nobody. Like, it's to put myself even lower instead of recognizing, wow, look at all these bright lights. We're in the same room together. We're each so different. We each have our own light. What a powerhouse of a Mrs. Utah contestant group we have. Like, these are all beautiful competitors that are not competing in a catty way against each other, but they're competing in a way that they want to make an impact. They want to be their best selves, and they're willing to put themselves out there to do it. This is like, what an opportunity.
Yeah.
So I kind of went on a tangent there, but like,
How cool is it that like, and I think people forget this. After March 29th is when we get our new people crowned, right? So we're going to have 2 misses and 1 miss. And I wish, guys, come on, we need more Miss contestants. I think there's only 6 this year. We would love to have, oh man, come on, friends. It's so cool. Join the sisterhood. Anyway, see a little tangent, little tiny tangent there.
Seriously though, look it up. Go join us.
All the growth and development that you have, just being able to watch all of these people. I think like the why, what's your why workshop with Diane is huge, just because you kind of get grounded. You figure out who you are and what you're standing for and like how you want to represent yourself.
Yes.
And that carries over into everything else. So then after March, even if you don't win, you still get to hold on to your title and you can show up. Like I still wore my sash and I went to all kinds of events afterwards and I would go and support the queens. I was at Mrs. America. That was fun.
I'm sure.
Right. I got to sit next to Charlotte for a little bit when her friend won. That was
That's
so
awesome.
cool. She was so, and then I was like catching video. They had like light up letters that were spelling out Utah and stuff. It was like they were all just totally cheering and rooting for each other and helping each other. Like there wasn't this cattiness or like underhanded or people going like behind each other's backs. There wasn't any of that. So I'm so glad you joined. But like,
thank you. Me too.
you
And
too. It was somebody like you should do a beauty pageant.
it was honestly, it was just a younger friend that was in the Miss organization.
And she's like, just check it out.
She's like, yeah, she's like, there's a Mrs. program. You should look into it. I know a person that's been involved with it beforehand. Like it was just a friendly conversation. So again, if people are listening to this, like look into it because it really does. It impacts so many things. My children, as they've been introducing themselves to new friends, they've been practicing answering the question, tell me about yourself. What are you into? Their confidence is growing as they see me practice and get to know myself more. And just this morning, I had a conversation with one of my girls. There was an opportunity for her to come up, or there's an opportunity for her to be in this talent show. And she was like, oh, I don't want to do it. She has a beautiful voice, like a beautiful voice. And I'm like, you don't have to do it, but tell me more. And I learned that she feels very embarrassed if people hear her sing, which again, we all have those insecurities with it. But this has just been a great platform, a great organization to be a part of, because I'm getting to know not only myself more, but also my children more. And my children are also getting to know themselves more. It just like it's a ripple effect.
Yeah, it's totally a ripple effect. How cool. Man. What was I just gonna say to you? You did an event.
Yes, it was at Bridal Up Hope in Mapleton. So we had this, I'm so sad you weren't there. Like you would have loved it. It was a mother-daughter party, just a night, like a gala. It was just a night to celebrate the divinity and the light in them, both the daughters and the moms. They both got to be celebrated that night, or the grandmas or the cousins or whoever was there. And we had a red carpet where the ladies got to walk confidently down this red carpet, which red carpet. And we had a service station where we wrote over 100 letters to women in the community, just expressing gratitude. Like, again, how long do we wait till we actually give a compliment? Just give the compliment. And then we just had the final station was kind of like our interview station. If you can kind of get like the pageant undertones with it. So we had the stage, which was the red carpet. We had the service, which was the writing letters. And then we had kind of like the interview portion where it was just a place for moms and daughters to get to know each other more. So we had games and questionnaires, and it was a beautiful night. And one thing that really hit me at the end of it. There was a lady, a teenager that was helping to serve food there. And afterwards, she just expressed gratitude for being able to be there. And I'm like, you're the one helping us. Thank you for being here. And she's like, no, she's like, this being able to just be in this type of an atmosphere where moms and daughters could just put everything else to the side and just celebrate each other. Like, this was a very special place to be tonight.
That's so sweet. Oh, see, I would have loved to with my jaw. It was awful. Anyway, that sounds well, and people forget. So people think that it's just like showing up and wearing a pretty dress. And you don't necessarily have to do an event. You don't have to go and do a lot of community whatever. Um, none of that stuff is required. Like there's workshops that we do, and some of them are required and some of them are not. And then all the different contestants, whenever they have stuff going on, they'll post about it. But no, not one bit of that is required. But there is a really big focus in like looking to your community and like empowering yourself to do what you can do, to use whatever talent you have, quote unquote.
Yes. And for each person, that can look totally different. It can be volunteering in your child's classroom. It can be posting uplifting messages online. It can be working with the state legislature. There's no rules with it. It's just hey, what matters to you? If what matters to you is being a living, breathing example of slowing down and teaching women how to slow down, we need you. Like, like every person's gift and skill set is worth celebrating. You have a light, so don't be afraid to share it.
You don't have to do like an actual talent for the record. So like that part we don't need to be scared of. I think just showing up is enough.
Yep, it's just showing up and celebrating you. You don't have to, you're walking across the stage. Yeah. You don't have to dance. You don't have to sing. It'd be fun if we got to, but it's just celebrating.
We do dance.
The opening number, we definitely dance.
We dance.
That is true. That is ballroom dance.
Don't
right
forget
there.
That. Don't forget. It's so fun though. Like, and so I didn't even watch. Like, I had no idea what I was really getting into. I was just kind of showing up, and I was just like, we're gonna see how this goes. And I'm a deer in headlights. And here's my Stanley garbage can that I bedazzled in the hotel room last night. Like,
I love it.
And after going through it all, like it definitely shifted my perspective on what all of it is. And I'm living out loud a little bit more. Like last year, I still was like, oh, I'm Mrs. Daybreak. Hi. But this year, like I did a charity thing too. And I was still kind of scared. I was still nervous to be like, hey, I'm in a beauty pageant and I'm doing a thing. Because I don't want people to think that I'm like there's the wrong idea that people can get. Like, I'm trying to do service because of the beauty pageant.
Yes.
And that's not what it is. Really, it's the pageant is a gateway.
Yes.
For me to be able to represent my community and do more within my community.
Yes. And if there's a cause you're passionate about, this pageant is a great way to spread awareness for that. Because we have all these ladies.
Platform, right?
Yeah, we're supporting each other. We're helping to share each other's messages. So yeah, it's definitely a cause for good in the community. But I understand your feelings of like, oh, am I doing this just because of the pageant? You're like, this is propelling me to actually take action on something, but it's not the reason why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, and like now, like if I don't do it again, I kind of have figured out what direction I want to go with things now. Yes. So like I've figured out my alignment. Maybe it isn't really with teaching tiny humans anymore. Maybe I'm doing other stuff. But like it's grounded me and helped me figure out what I really want to do. Yes. And who I really am. And I couldn't figure that out. Like I was teaching first grade last year and we were using this app, and there were so many things where I was like, oh, these are all skills that I need to have for the pageant. Like how you talk to somebody and maintaining eye contact and
Mhm.
keeping proper distance and like
Yeah.
being able to answer questions that people ask you quickly. Like even in those, they're like, what's your favorite food? And then I like, because you have to record yourself. I'm sitting there like, I don't know what my favorite food. Hamburgers,
Yeah.
sure.
Sure. Everyone likes hamburgers, right? It's like,
That's all American, right? Like
yeah.
it just it's funny that we don't realize these things until we're trying to teach it.
Yes.
And then I'm like,
That's
well,
when
I'm
we
not doing that myself.
That's when we learn and we grow the most when we actually put things into action. We realize, oh, you want to know what? I do want to improve in this area. So here we go.
Man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be on
The
stage.
pageant is coming up fast. I am so excited also. It's been incredible this past few months doing things together, and we get
And
to celebrate.
it doesn't end is the thing. Like
Yes.
some people are like, okay, after March, then what?
Mhm.
You can keep doing it. And then we get first pick on if we want to do our title again, we get first pick. And if
Yeah.
we don't want to do it anymore, then we can pass and then they'll offer it up to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like you can keep doing it. Oops, sorry, microphone. You can keep doing it over and over and over again until you win. But like once you hit the state title, if you go on to the nationals, then you don't really get a shot unless you move states.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like the formers all show up
They
still
do.
at every event, and like they help us get ready. There are liaisons. They know the ins and the outs and they can help us navigate things, and it's so supportive. We have and I hear from what I hear, because I haven't done it anywhere else, but from what I hear, this is like ours has the most support in terms.
Oh, I would not be surprised. Like it's amazing just how much we're chatting both as competitors in this group. Like we are sash sisters. I love that that's the term. It's like yes, we're competitors, but we are sash sisters. We are supporting each other. And then the directors and the previous queens, like they just want to just let you have this incredible experience that can impact so much.
I've loved have you've kind of hung out with Jess. I talk about her every once in a while. I'm going to have to get her on the podcast after the pageant is done and she has time to breathe. Um, but she's the one that got me involved in the pageant. And it was at like right after my mom had passed away, and it was after her funeral, and she had like no idea. But I was just going through the motions. Um, and signed up. She was like, you should sign up for the pageant. And I was like, oh, I would need a lot of work to do a beauty pageant. She was like, no, you wouldn't. And then she sent me the message on Instagram later. Um, Facebook. It was on Facebook. She sent me the application. Um, and I filled it out and I was like reading through some of it and I was like, okay, I can do this. But then she was one of the people that I sat down with at the mock interviews and I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because she's intimidating. She has a very intimidating presence. But then like our time was done and she went to give me my feedback and she was like, you are incredible. Like you need to let other people see these different things about you.
Yes.
Like,
And there's that theme again. It's like learning how to get out of our own shell, learning how to get out of our own way and be able to succinctly and confidently say, hey, this is me. This is my background. This is my history. This is my message. And this is why I'm like, just being able to, it's an art. It's an art that we as adults really get to learn so we can just stop being in our own way.
hey, this is my last thing I'm gonna ask you. And then like we may be going, oh, okay, I apparently
I got a thumbs up.
good job. Okay, here. Wait, we could do other ones too.
Hey.
Oh, wait, hold on. One more. We do it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're done with Zoom.
Things you learn.
I have too much. I'm on here way too much, apparently. I was going to ask you how you went from letters to book.
Oh, okay. Yes. So from letters to book, it just, when you have something in your heart, you just can't overthink it. I'm like, I have never written a book before. All I do are social media posts. There's no way I can write a book. That was everything going through my head. But how did I actually go from letters to a book? By not listening to that voice and recognizing that the the experiences I had gone through and the letters I had written, I knew they were meant for more people than just for me. They're meant for people that didn't recognize who they saw in the mirror. They're meant for people that thought they had life figured out and then everything comes crashing down. They're meant for people that want to dream and want to take their life to the next level, but it's a lot easier just to think about it than to actually do it. That's everyone. That's everyone. So I had to get out of my own way, had to be willing to be open and vulnerable, to shine that light, and you published a book. And now it's an international book.
That is so cool. Okay, we're going to get ready to wrap up. So before we go, I want you to tell everybody how we can find you and where we can get your book and what it's called.
Yes. So the simplest way to get my book is just on Amazon, and it's called You Are Worth Living For. And there's the ebook, or you can have paper or hardcover, whatever you like. Also, my website. If you're like, I totally resonate with your message and I'm ready to start feeling more confident in who I am or start being more proud of my light, whether you want to have fun doing makeup artistry together, or you're wanting to have me come and be a speaker at your event, or you're wanting just like basic health routines, that's what you can find on my website or on social media. And it's www.mrspblanchard.com. And as you said at the beginning, Portia is like Portia. Yes. PortiaBlanchard.com.
I'm going to have to see if I can find, we have it somewhere. And like, it was years and years and years ago before we had our younger two. And I was laughing so hard. Look at you. Okay, I'm going to link this in our bio. These are gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not our bio, in the show notes.
Yes, in the show notes.
I got distracted by your pretty blue dress.
Thank you. It's my Cinderella dress.
And the next time we get together is actually going to be the pageant.
You're so ready. I'm so ready. I'm so excited. Like it's going to be so
that
good.
Dance is going to be a mess.
Hey, you're just going to get up there and you're going to represent someone that's trying to dance on the stage, whatever that looks like for you. It's going to be amazing.
Gosh. Did you see my
the back
video?
And forth? Yes. So there's a dance move that's like looks like chicken wings, but it's supposed to look a lot cooler than that. Hey, it's fun. It's a party. We're just getting the energy up.
It'll be so good, you guys.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you've listened this far, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. I will see you at the pageant. Come get tickets to the pageant.
Oh my gosh, for real. And wait. And nope, I forgot what I was going to say. Tickets to the pageant. We'll link. Oh, and we can have different. I'll see if I can link the discount codes too, because there will be a cutoff for the discount codes.
Ooh, I did not know that.
And I don't remember what it is, but like, because I don't remember.
Reach out to us on social media if you want the discount code, and we can let you know if it's still active.
And we want to make sure there's virtual tickets and there's in-person tickets happening at Murray High School. Yes. And I just, in many ways, I'm ready, and in so many ways, I'm totally not. But I just love the community that we've created. So thank you so much for being a part of that. And I really appreciate you and love you so much.
Thank you for hosting this podcast.
Yeah. If anything, I'm thankful that the pageant has given me the relationships that I've had, because I didn't have those really for a long time. So
the friendships is amazing.
It's been very healing how authentic and genuine everyone is. So if you're part of this sisterhood, thank you so much.
We love you.
Being who you are. And yeah, take care of yourselves. It's a crazy world out there.